Welcome to Patrick's
Patrick's
Book
Book
Reviews.
Review.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is a very exciting day because on the last episode here with Maya, we talked about how she's still wanting to read her first book, or maybe not wanting, but being forced to read her first book. And so we asked for your recommendations, and luckily we got a lot of really good recommendations, and I'm being genuine with that. I was really surprised, and not surprised, but really satisfied. At least three or four of the recommendations are like books I was thinking of too. So I was very excited to have those on the list. So today we're going to go through the books that you chose for Maya, and she's going to select the one that she likes best. So I'm just going to kind of go through the comments and explain each book to Maya one by one. I'll use Maya's phone for this. Okay, so I'm just going to go through the order they appear here. So the first one is from Dory Wozniak. Do you know who that is?
I don't know her.
That's Maya's grandmother. And she recommended The Little Prince. She said, "It's a great book that can be read at any age, and there will always be something fresh for the reader to ponder." So luckily for us, we actually do have a copy of this book, and we have a very classic edition. And this is actually a book that was my mother's. Her friend gave it to her, and she let me take it last time I was visiting in America. It's even got a note from her friend to her. And this is, I do love this edition very much. The translation is the classic translation by Catherine Woods, which is the original English translation of this book. And she uses, I just like the English language that she uses. She doesn't try to, it doesn't sound kind of too modern, but it's still, easy enough to understand. And so you can see this book, it's not super long, and it's got like pictures in it and everything. And of course, it's a classic. What do you think about The Little Prince?
But I never heard about it. But have you ever read it?
Yeah, I've read it. This one is, it's actually quite popular in Thailand too. Quite a few of my students have read it as well, and they love it. It's very popular. I have a few students where this is their actual favorite book of all time. So this is a great choice to start it off with. And I'll put that over here. Be careful with that one too. I don't want to. Okay. And then next, this is another great one. And like I said, I had The Little Prince in mind, but I also had a book by this author in mind. And this comes from Nerdy Teachers. And he said she might like James Herriot since his books are about different animals, especially dogs. And each chapter is basically a funny short story, so they can be short reads without the feeling of needing to commit to reading the entire book. That was a great choice. And Nerdy Teachers, he didn't actually recommend a specific James Herriot book, so he kind of left that open. But literally the same day he gave that message before I got it, I was thinking about All Creatures Great and Small, how I had really enjoyed that book, and how I really want to reread it. And so this book is about James Herriot, the author. He was actually a veterinarian, and he traveled all around the English countryside, and he took care of animals as a vet. So he would help a cow to give birth to its calf or things like that. The only thing is it is a little bit long. I believe I checked, and it's like maybe 400 some pages. So that might scare you off a little bit. But what do you think about James Herriot, All Creatures, Great and Small?
When you said 400 pages, I was like, ah. And is there any pictures in there or only like letters?
It's been a while. I don't think there's illustrations. If there are, there's not too many. Actually, I used to have I'm kicking myself because I remember when I was a kid, I had a hardcover edition of that book, which was like the original cover and everything, and I really liked the way that looked. But I don't know what happened to that. It's long gone. But yeah, this one. And to be fair to nerdy teachers, he didn't actually recommend this specific book. He left it open, so that's kind of my fault for choosing this one. But it is a very good book, so maybe that would be one. If you feel it's too long for you now, you could move on to it later. But I do think you'd like James Herriot. He's a great author. And then let's move on. So thank you, nerdy teachers. And next is Charming, who we both know. And she made a great recommendation too. This one's called Zenintendo, I believe. Zenintendo. Is that yeah. And this is actually a Thai series, I believe, of short novels or novellas. There might be like she was telling me there's maybe 20 or so. And let me read what she actually wrote about it though. She said, "Hello, I'd like to recommend a novel called Zenintendo. It's about a shop that can make any dream come true, no matter what it is. However, only one lucky customer will find the shop every day, and the price of each item varies depending on the coin the owner randomly selects from each piece of candy. There are instructions on how to use it, and using it incorrectly can cause problems. I really like this novel, and I'd like you to give it a try. It's very entertaining. The story has 16 to 20 chapters in total, and I really recommend you give it a read." Okay, so Charming, great recommendation, and I do appreciate the lengthy explanation there too. And I was talking to her because she's a student of mine, and she was telling me about that book, and I'd had another student that actually had talked about that book too. So it's quite a popular book, but it was really reminding me of a book I haven't read yet, but I plan to read soon, which is Needful Things by Stephen King, because that's kind of a similar premise where there's a shop owner and you come in and he has whatever you want. But I know in this one, you have to make a promise to him that you'll do whatever he wants in the future or something like that. So this is actually a horror story, so it goes in a bit different direction, but I just thought that was interesting that they're both kind of based on the same premise. So anyway, what do you think about Zenintendo?
Okay, actually sounds cute. I don't know what is it about, like a horror or a cute or what is it?
Since you obviously weren't listening,
I was listening. That is
it's a story about there's this little old lady who has her own shop, and customers come in, and she has whatever they wish for, basically, from what I understand. But there's something to do with like she needs to have the right money for it, and you have to follow the instructions of what she tells you to do. And then there's also like another shop that's like an evil shop, and it's free. This is what Charming was telling me. It's free, but that one, bad things will happen to you. So that's why it kind of reminded me of the Stephen King book. But that's basically what it's about. And this one is in Thai language. So yeah, this one's in Thai. That's about it. Yeah. Do you want to say anything else about that one? No? Okay. And then, so yeah, thanks again to Charming, though. That was a great recommendation and a great write-up. And then the next one is from another person you might know. You recognize that guy?
Sean Wozniak. Wow, same last name.
Yes. That's her grandfather. And he actually left 2 recommendations, one of his own and one from his friend. So I'll read the one of his own first. He said, "The Eyes and the Impossible" by Dave Eggers might be a good book. This is told from the perspective of one uniquely endearing dog. And he had also emailed me with a longer synopsis of this book, and it sounded very good. It's it's won some awards and whatnot, and it's fairly modern. It's fairly recent, maybe the last 10 years or so. And it's about a dog who lives in a big park where they have other animals. And I think there's three American bison or buffaloes there. And I think the dog, he's kind of the leader of the gang, and there's people trying to kind of encroach upon the park and build buildings there and stuff. So they're trying to save the park, I think. Any thoughts on that one?
Good.
Sounds good. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that one does have illustrations. It has pictures as well. And I was looking through, the pictures do look quite beautiful with that one. It's a little bit longer, but it doesn't look too bad. The chapters are very short. And then Grandpa also said, a weird friend of mine who likes comic book heroes recommended K-pop Demon Hunters, a story by Luna Sao Kim. An epic adventure of music, friendship, and courage that inspires kids to read, shine, dream big, and believe in their own light. So I think I was originally thinking of Demon Slayer, but it's not the same thing. This is something else. I think it's a comic book. Yeah, he said it's a comic book. And I think they were kind of picking it maybe because, it features singing and dancing and stuff that you like to do. I hope his friend's not watching that he called weird. But anyway, have you heard of this book, and what do you think?
I don't know there's a book, but I know there's a movie or a cartoon or something. I'm not sure. But actually, mommy watched this, but I didn't, and I don't want to.
Okay. All right. So she doesn't want that recommendation, but thank you anyway to the weird friend of my father's for leaving that recommendation. And then the final two recommendations were actually in the first video. If you've watched that, you'll know what I'm talking about. The first one was from Song Ying, the professional wrestler, and she had recommended Pinocchio. And this is a story that I think Maya might be somewhat familiar with, but it says, the mischievous wooden puppet Pinocchio, carved by good Geppetto, I don't know, journeys from one exciting adventure to the next, meets a range of intriguing characters along the way. Okay, what do you think about Pinocchio?
I watched this already, and so I don't really want to read it.
Okay. Fair enough. And I forgot, I have another student who I was teaching, and she didn't comment on the video, but she had talked to me, and she was recommending this book, which it was another one I was hoping someone would recommend, partially because it's a great book and partially because we have a copy of it already, so I won't have to buy it. But this one is Charlotte's Web, which I'm sure any school student who grew up in America will know, because I think pretty much everyone read this book when they were in, the third or fourth grade or whatever. But I did reread this book with my son a few years back, and E.B. White's, he's a great writer. He also writes a lot of essays. I actually read a book of his essays that was quite interesting, but I don't think you'll want to get into that. But this one, I'll just read the brief synopsis on the back. It says, "These are the words in Charlotte's Web, high in the barn." So it says, "Some pig." Her spider web tells her feelings for a little pig named Wilbur. So Wilbur's the main character in this story, as well as the feelings of a little girl named Fern, who loves Wilbur too. Their love has been shared by millions of readers. So that basically tells you nothing about the book. But the story is about a little pig who's born on the farm, and he's the runt of the litter. That means he's the small little pig. And so normally, unfortunately, farmers, they don't want to feed that pig because it's not going to grow up to be big and strong. So normally they'll kill that pig, unfortunately. But the good news is the girl Fern, she falls in love with Wilbur and begs her father to save him. And so she kind of raises Wilbur, and then he becomes friends with the spider, and they work together to kind of make sure Wilbur doesn't end up being in your bacon sandwich. So how does that one sound?
Good. And I want to ask you, what is the duck and the...
Yeah, so that is a goose, actually. Oh. And that is a sheep. And so this is on a farm, like I said. And so there's many farm animals in this one. It takes place on a farm. So there's other animals. There's also a little rat who comes in the story. And you can see it's also got pictures. A lot of pictures. Yep. See, there's a little rat. Cute little guy. And I think the nice thing about this one is it's a great story. It's short chapters, and it's also has pictures in it too. So it's got pretty much everything you're looking for, and it's about animals. So what do you think about Charlotte's Web?
Good.
Good?
Cute.
Sounds good. Okay. And then the last recommendation was my recommendation on the first video, because I was worried no one would leave any recommendations, but luckily our beloved viewers did leave some great recommendations. But I had recommended Black Beauty, which is the story of a horse and kind of what that horse goes through. And it's written from the perspective of the horse. And to be completely honest with you, I don't remember that story that well. It is kind of old though. And so I don't know how much you'd really like it. I just picked it because it's about a horse. And I think I did read it when I was younger and thought it was okay. So I'm doing a terrible job of selling that book. But what do you think about Black Beauty?
I don't know much because I didn't see the book.
Yeah, we don't have a copy of the book, so I would have to buy a copy of the book as well. And if I did that, I would also buy more books for myself, and I need to stop myself from doing that as well. So help me help myself. All right, so those are the recommendations. Just to review really quick, the ones we've got on hand are The Little Prince. Hold it up there. Yeah, which was originally written in French, but this is the English translation, the original English translation. And we have Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. And last, Pinocchio. This is a free edition we got when we bought a bunch of books from a bookstore. They'd let you choose one free book. And I was happy because I actually did want to reread Pinocchio too. I haven't done that yet though. It's kind of funny. If you look at the price tag on the back, it literally says 0 baht on it. For some reason, they put that on there. And then the other ones, real quickly, were, can you get those up on your phone? The K-pop one, which she's not interested in. The Zenintendo, the Thai short story or novella. James Herriot, that's right, that was a great one. And The Eyes and the Impossible by Dave Eggers, which also sounded really great, actually. So I was excited by all of these. So there's a lot of recommendations there, and hard choice, but you only have to choose one to read first, and then if you like it, maybe you could move on to one of the other titles that were recommended. So I'll give you the microphone, and I'll make a drum roll for you, and then you say...
Stop this first.
Why?
So let me think.
Oh, okay. Maya wants a moment to make her decision. So I guess I'll stop the video, give her time to think, and then we'll be right back. Okay, after hours of deliberation, Maya's made up her final choice. Now she kind of narrowed it down to 4, but then she eliminated 1. Which one did you eliminate of the 4? No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not the one you chose. Which one? The one you said like you didn't want to read it because it was Thai.
The Zenintendo, or I'm not sure of the name because it's written in Thai, and sometimes I think like Thai books, the words are strange and hard to understand because the words sometimes we need to translate Thai to Thai again.
Okay, so Zenintendo, because it was Thai, she didn't want to choose that one. And that one did sound, the premise was very interesting. So great, thank you for that, Charming. That was a great choice. But I also want to read the book with her, and I would not be able to read that, I don't think, or it would take me years. Okay, so she narrowed it down to 3, and they just happen to be the books we have on hand. So show those real quick.
So our top 3 is Pinocchio, The Little Prince, Charlotte's Web.
All right. So I'm going to give you a drum roll. You hold the microphone, and after the drum roll, you can announce your lucky winner.
The winner is
Wow.
Can you do it again?
Just keep going. It's okay.
Okay. Charlotte's Web! Yay!
Wow. Okay, great choice. I'll probably be sick because of it, but because you coughed all over me. But so this is what we'll be reading, and I'm going to be reading it with her, and so we'll do a dual review when we're all done with it. And I think you might do some updates as you're reading it, right? You're going to do some short videos and stuff.
I guess.
Yeah. Okay. And I'll compile all those into one video. And our plan was just to read one chapter a day, so we're not pushing her too hard. And these chapters are fairly short, but I think there are quite a few chapters, so it'll probably take us a while to get through this book. Yeah, looks like there's 22 chapters, so if she reads a chapter a day, how many days would that take?
22 or maybe like about a month, because sometimes I won't read it.
What?
No,
Okay.
I mean sometimes I don't have time.
Okay. All right. So maybe around the new year, look out for that video where Maya will be reviewing Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. Okay, very exciting. So thank you everyone for watching. And anything you want to say before we go, Maya?
I love you. Mwah.
All right. Thank you, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.